So for the price of a postage stamp and about 3 minutes of my time, I was mailed this check for about $200. Did almost nothing, no work, and I'm gonna teach you how to do the exact same thing in this video. It's something called unclaimed property or unclaimed money. It's referred to by a bunch of different names online, which is where you find most of the information about this. But the gist is that the government has a lot of money, billions of dollars, that is sitting there waiting for people to claim it. And I'm gonna show you exactly where you can find that, what you'll need to claim it, and then how you'll receive it in this video. So let's dive in. Hi, my name's Tyus. I make videos about personal liberty, and in this video, I'll tell you my story. I'll tell you what happened. I was sitting around with a bunch of friends, and one of them brought up this idea of unclaimed property. So I pulled out my cell phone. I did a really quick little search. I found my name out there that I had money that was apparently owed to me, and on my phone, before I even left the room, I'm just hanging out with friends, they're drinking whiskey, and I file a claim. I say, hey, I think this money's mine. And I got sent an email with a form on it. I mailed that form in, and I got sent this check. So pretty sweet deal. It was super easy, and I hope that there's a bunch of money out there for you, and I want you to take advantage of this, because if there's money waiting for you, times are hard right now, given the pandemic, given the crazy year that we just got through. So I want to share with you exactly how to go out there, grab this money that may belong to you, and let's get into how we do that. Now there's about $60 billion in unclaimed property that's being held by the state. So that's nearly $200 per person. So if you were to divide it up equally among everybody. Now, the truth is only about 1 in every 10 US citizens have unclaimed property in there, but 1 in 10 is not bad. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, I had money sitting there for me. One of my friends had money sitting there for him that I just found yesterday for him. So there might very well be money there for you. So on average, if it's 1 in 10 people have it, and it's about $200 for every citizen, that means that if you are one of the people that is owed money, odds are you have probably $2,000 that's sitting there waiting for you to claim it. That's a lot. There's $3 billion that's returned every year, but every year they end up getting more money in too, because what's happening here is that people aren't getting their money when they are maybe quitting a job and then they move properties, they never get their last check, or they're never getting the money that they lost when they forgot about a bank account that they had, it closed down, or they bought gift cards and those gift cards just kind of sat around, they forgot about them. Well, that money doesn't revert back to the company. It apparently gets taken and used by the state. So there's just money out there waiting for people to take it. It's something that is called escheat, I think is how it's pronounced. It's a common law doctrine, and what it does is it means that any unclaimed property is defaulted to the state, and it's actually a huge amount of money that the state gets every year, because if you don't claim it, they're the ones that ultimately get to keep it. And let me ask you this question, just because I'm curious about the moral implications here. But in a minute, I'm going to show you exactly how to get this money. And it's also really easy to search for other people and see if they are owed money. So for example, yesterday I found that my friend was owed like several $1,000s, and I just put his name in and found it. So would it be unethical if you were to find other people's money, reach out to them, and then say, hey, I'm gonna get this money for you in exchange for, let's say, 15-20%. I wanna know if that's an ethical thing to do, and I haven't really decided, because of course they could do it themselves. Is it honorable to charge a finder's fee? Leave a comment below, because I wanna know. I struggle with the ethics of that, but it seems like a really profitable business. I just don't know if it's the right thing to do. So anyways, let's jump into exactly how you find this money. There's a couple of different places. One is you can go to the Treasury site for each state. Now this stuff is handled on a state-by-state level. So each site is going to be a little bit different. Each web page that you go to is going to be a little different. There's also one that is universal, that everyone recommends you go to, and that's missingmoney.org, I believe. Let me just make sure that that's right, missingmoney.com. missingmoney.com is a really, really good one, and it lets you do a global search. Now, if you're looking for just the state by state, you can go to unclaimed.org, and there's a map there of the entire country. You can click on the state that you're wanting to search, and then you can do a search there. Or you can just go to the Treasury site as it is, and you'll find it there. But every state has a little bit of difference between how they do this and what they require. And because of that, there's a little bit of ambiguity. I can't give you every answer on what you're gonna need to submit and what the website looks like. However, let's do an example with missingmoney.com. Okay, so first off, we're gonna go to the right site, missingmoney. It's .com, but I'm just gonna do a Google search so you can see where it's at. This is the website. This is probably the best universal search that I could find out there. And if I typed in something like Jason Smith, that's a nice generic term, or generic name rather. So I'm getting a ton of things. So over 200 plus pages, lots and lots of results. So then the next thing I want to do is I want to start narrowing that down. So I'll click on the state and I'll say, okay, what state is this fictitious person in? I could go with Nevada, I could, whatever, it doesn't really matter for this example. And if I want to get even more refined, I could type in Las Vegas, Nevada, and then it's going to really start getting precise results. On this particular site, it only says whether the dollar amount is over or under $100. When you actually choose one and go to file a claim with it, it's going to have you leave this site, missingmoney.com, and it's going to take you over to the Treasury site for that particular state. So once you're in here, you can go in, you can say, I'm the owner of it, I'm the heir of it, I'm the holder of it, whatever the case may be, the custodian, so maybe it's your kid. And you can go in here, you can select what you are, and then you can actually file the claim for it. So once you find money that is owed to you, you can click that little claim button and claim the money that is yours, which is amazing. Now you have to fill out a little form. You're gonna have to put in some personal information about you because they want to verify that it is legitimately you. So when I did it, I could file it right on my phone, but I'm assuming that other states might have more complicated websites as far as how you can file it. But it wasn't very hard. Now, most states, from what I understand, they bring up a form, you then have to print that form out. Nevada, after I filed my form, they emailed me a filled out form. So I had to print it out, I had to sign it. Now in some states, you're going to have to go down and get it signed specifically by a notary, which basically is a person that verifies that it was signed by you in person, right? So there's a bunch of places where you can do this. Banks, credit union, I can't say it, credit unions. Credit unions. Why is that hard? So banks usually have notaries, credit unions, UPS stores. If you're a member of the auto club, they do. Public libraries often do. Courthouses, city or county clerk's offices. Real estate agents and insurance agents are often notaries because they're always filling out contracts that are like high value amounts of dollars. So they often are a notary. And so those are some places you can go to get these notarized if you need to. For some of those like banks, or for like the auto club, you need to be a member, and you shouldn't have to pay to get something notarized. It's not that big of a deal, but you definitely want to give them a ring before you show up in person because sometimes they need to do it by an appointment first. So you can go down there if your state requires it to be notarized. Go book an appointment, get a notary. In the state of Nevada, they did not require that. But what they did require is they did 100% need a state ID. They needed a photo ID, which I made a copy of. They also need a social security card. And from what I understand from the research I've done, every single state needs these. This is a non-negotiable that you're going to have to send in a copy of a photo ID to prove that that's your identity, and a social security card. I have no idea why they need that, but all of them do. And then additionally, if you have it, proof that whatever the dollar amount, whatever the company, wherever that money came from, which it'll show on the claim where it came from, it helps if you can send in any proof to that. So for example, if they said, oh, is this really you? Because it was supposed to be sent to this old address of yours, you could maybe send them an old bill proving that you used to live there. Or you could show that you used to be employed by this person that tried to send money to you, but you couldn't get it. It's also important to point out that this is not always money. Sometimes this can be items. This could be, for example, like stocks. Stocks, it'll show like you have a zero amount of money to claim, but it'll show your name and everything. Well, oftentimes that's property that you own, stock certificates, bonds, things like that are being held there. They're worth money. However, they don't have a dollar amount because they go up and down with the market. So that's also something to keep in mind, that it's called unclaimed property specifically because it's not always just money. It's something that can obviously be redeemed for money. It always has value to it. So anyways, so you're gonna print up the form, or the claim form, whether it's emailed to you or off the website. You get it notarized if you need to. Provide any proof if you need to. In my case, I didn't need to send any proof in, although I have a weird name. Tyus France, super strange. Nobody's got that name, I think. Let me know if your name Tyus France, because that'd be super weird. And then I mailed it in, and that was it. And then I just hung out, I waited around, I did basically nothing, and in came the check. So that was it. It was that easy, and why not go out and collect the money? Now, if this is something that works for you, comment below and let me know how much money you got, unless you're afraid of people knowing that you got a bunch of money. But I want to know how much money you actually made in this process. Also, please share this video with your friends because there's a lot of money out there and they might have some. And I also want to know if you think it's ethical to go out and do searches for people and then somehow take a commission from it. I think it seems like such an obvious business model, but maybe it's an evil thing to do, and maybe I'm wrong there. I don't know. So if you're liking these videos and you want to see more, I've got a ton of extra videos. I think they're going to pop up here on the screen. Also, please subscribe if you haven't yet. My early goal with this channel's super new and almost nobody's watching it yet, but I really want to get to 1,000 subscribers as quickly as possible because it unlocks a bunch of things inside of YouTube for me. And I will see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.